Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Average Korean Man from South Korea. In a couple of videos of mine, I've talked about the problems with the low birth rate here in Korea. But until now, I've only talked about what is going to happen in the far future. But today, I would like to talk about what has already happened because of low birth rate and what is happening right now currently, and what's going to happen in the very close future in 2, 3, or 4, 5 years. The fertility rate of South Korea is 0.72, which is the lowest fertility rate in the world. And I've already talked about this in another video of mine, but for those of you who are new to my channel, and for those of you who have not watched that video, let me just explain the definition of fertility rate briefly before we move on to the main topic. So let me first explain the definition of fertility rate. Definition of fertility rate represents the average number of children that a woman is expected to have during her reproductive years from age 15 to 49. That is the definition of fertility rate, and let me just explain how it works. Now, let's say there is a country that has 100 women, and this country has a birth rate or the fertility rate of 1. So this means every woman is expected to have 1 child during her lifetime, which means these 100 women will give birth to 100 babies. And let's say these 100 women gave birth to 50 girls and 50 boys. And it could be 40 girls, 60 boys, or 40 boys, 60 girls, but let's just make it simple. So the next generation became 50 girls and 50 boys. And now you might think, okay, so the population of the next generation is the same as the current generation, you might think. But that's not true, because a woman cannot give birth by herself, right? A woman needs a man to give birth. So it means 100 women plus 100 men. So if the fertility rate is 1, the population of next generation becomes half of the population of the current generation. So population of 200 becomes 100. And that's how it works. And now I said the fertility rate of South Korea is 0.72. So let's see what it's going to happen in the future. Now, this is not the main topic I'm going to talk about. It's just an explanation of the fertility rate. So South Korea has a birth rate of 0.72. And let's say we have 0.7 to make it simple for easy calculation. Okay, and let's say 100 women again. Women and 100 men. So these 100 women will give birth to 70 children in the next generation. So let's say there will be 35 boys and 35 girls. All right. And also, of course, it could be like 50 boys or 20 girls, or 50 girls and 20 boys, but let's make it simple. And if this birth rate or the fertility rate keeps going on, these 35 girls will give birth to 25 children again. 25 children. So, which means if this birth rate keeps going on, the population of 200 will become the population of 25 in just 2 generations. So the population of after 2 generations is almost 1/10, almost 1/10 of the current population. So that's a serious problem. And that was the brief explanation of the fertility rate, and let's move on to the main point. So let's talk about what is currently happening here in South Korea right now. If you go to the countryside right now, you're not going to see any kids. Not only that, you're not going to see people at my age either. And the people, the youngest people in many villages are in their 50s and 60s. So those villages or countrysides are expected to disappear in the future. And many schools have started to merge or close down since a couple years ago. And I have a little research here for you. So in the past 3 years, 72 schools have closed down or merged. And 3 of them were high schools, 11 of them were middle schools, and 58 of them were elementary schools. And that is 82% of the 72 schools here. And now this is what's going to happen in the real close future. So the low birth rate has been a problem since quite a long time ago. But the super low birth rate below 1, started to happen after 2018, which means kids who are born in 2018 are expected to enter elementary school from next year. So a lot of elementary schools are expected to close down or merge from next year. So it's really going to happen in the close future. And 1 high school have closed down this year in Seoul, the capital city of Korea. And that was quite a shock here in Korea because it's Seoul, right? And that was the first high school that was closed down in Seoul. So it's beginning to happen in Seoul as well. But it's a lot more serious in the countryside or outside Seoul. And also Busan, the second biggest city in Korea, has entered the category of cities at risk of extinction. So let me read this for you guys real quick. So in Busan, in the past 5 years, almost 500 kindergartens have closed down. And the fertility rate of Busan is 0.66, which is lower than the total fertility rate of Korea. And also 6,000 young people are leaving Busan every year to find a job. And there are no jobs here in Busan. And I have brought a map of South Korea, and that shows what is going to happen in the future. So let's take a look at the map together. So this is what is going to happen in the future here in South Korea. And this is very far future, but I thought it would be a good idea to show you guys. And so the regions colored in yellow means stage of entering extinction risk. And the regions colored in red means high risk stage of extinction. And back in 2017, which was 7 years ago, only 12 regions, which is 5.2% of the Korean land, were in the high risk stage of extinction. But after about 20 years, so 2047, so that's 23 years from now, 158 regions are expected to enter high risk stage of extinction, which is going to be 68.6% of the Korean land. So in conclusion, there are no young people in the countryside already, not only kids, but like my age and even people in their 40s. There are no people in their 40s. And schools have started to close down or merge already since a couple of years ago. And the second biggest city in Korea, Busan, has entered the a category of cities at risk of extinction. And these are things that are already happening here in Korea. And what is going to happen in the very close future, in 4 or 5 years, is going to be worse. A lot of elementary schools are going to close down. And after 6-7 years, it's going to be middle schools and then high schools. Yeah. And also, I am planning to go to the countryside after about 2 or 3 weeks to see my fiance's grandmother. And I am going to show you what it's like over there. That's a very countryside. So it will be a good example of the countryside to show you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna do that in a couple of weeks. Anyways, I am going to end my video here today, everyone. Thank you for watching my video once again. See you next time. Bye bye.